Hello, I'm Azai. Welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia. Uh, I am ashamed to say that from the last time I played this, I actually did not continue, and after that, I took like a week break from it. Because, what was it? Of the strike on the channel, right? I couldn't upload. True, you might say, Azai, you could have actually just recorded a video and then stockpile on them. But, while I was getting COVID, I was also doing something on the side, which was listening to music from the game Art and Elico. And well, after doing so and going through the wiki, I am one of those guys that are very weird, you can say. I take my games too seriously. I had a very big urge to replay Art and Elico 2, and that is actually what I've been doing the past week. So yes, I still remember what happened on Grisaia, but I think next year I'm actually going to try LPing Art and Elico along with the CD drama, along with what's going on the wiki. That is something that I am very excited about. Like, Art and Elico is one of my favorite franchises as a kid, and I do think it's not that popular, but I am super excited about it. So that might be something I'll be doing in the near future. But of course, I should be focusing on Grisaia first. I should be finishing off Art and Elico in about 2 weeks or so, I think. I play it about 2 hours a day. Yesterday, though, was like 10 hours because it was a weekend. Alright, enough about Art and Elico. Sorry about that. Let's get into the mind of Grisaia again. I think last time we decided to go to the beach. We went with Chizuru while Michiru was with Amane. Blazing sun harsh enough to burn the skin, salty sea air thick enough to choke on. For a bunch of greenhouse flowers isolated in a sheltered campus, occasional stimulation of the sort is probably a healthy thing. After unpacking our things from the cars, I set up a beach towel and umbrella to establish a base camp. A few feet away, Michiru sits motionless on the burning sand, limp as a ragdoll. I don't know if the sound is actually low or not, because, like I said, when I switch from streaming to recording, the voice mix is actually weird. So let me make that a tiny bit louder. There we go. It's all too apparent that the ferocious horizontal G-forces and rapid shifts in momentum she experienced inside Amane's white devil jarred Michiru's internal organs. Her peerless, insipid smile suggests the possibility of brain damage. What the fuck, Yuji? She resembles nothing so much as a soldier wasting away from dengue fever. Her glazed eyes seem to be fixed on the gate to Nirvana. It's a truly pitiful spectacle. Pitiful spectacle. I bite my lower lip and avert my eyes. Michiru, can you hear my voice? I call out to her, but there's no response. Fortunately, in the next moment, an experienced orderly appears to assume caretaking duties. Sorry if my pace is a bit faster than usual, by the way. I have been voice acting this stuff on Art and Elico too, and I voice act super fast. As Michiru mews like a dispirited goat, Sachi wraps both arms around her from behind and begins to drag her off across the beach like a sack of potatoes. A familiar scene by this point. Sachi's clearly pretty used to the job herself.
というわけで 私たちは海の家で着替えてくるけど。
Yeah, I'll stay here and look after the stuff.
そう、じゃあすぐに戻るからお願いね。
Got it. As a man, getting down to my swim trunks is a simple matter of taking off my outer clothes on the spot. But I guess girls tend to want more privacy. Of course, it might be pushing it a little bit to refer to the eldest member of our group as a girl. And there's a certain female cyborg among us who would probably respond to the words, "Let's get changed," with an immediate certainly, then instantly begin stripping off her maid uniform. Not to mention the shrimp would fling her hands into the air and cheerfully shout, "Take them off for me." I don't know if it's just the BGM or what, but I keep hearing Sachi's voice for some reason. Maybe it's just my brain tricking me. And rounding out the set, a ludicrously top-heavy, totally shameless big sister type, who turned putting on her swimsuit into a free show for every male on the beach. Now that I think about it, Sakaki actually seems like the most normal of the bunch. Weird.
私が何か?
That didn't take long. If it isn't Sakaki Yumiko, Mahama's exemplar of normality.
何それ? 皮肉のつもり?
No, that's honestly what I think. Basically, you're not much fun. A sober woman, right down to the design of your swimsuit. But that's honestly what suits you best. You look good.
あなたに言われなくても地味なのを自分で理解しているの? そうやってバカにしていればいいのよ.
I think this is the first and last time we'll be seeing the swimsuit. Though I never really played the Chiru Chiru magical game, so I doubt that we'll be seeing the swimsuit again for these girls. Wasn't my intention to make fun of you. I said you look good, didn't I?
地味で面白みがないって言ったわ.
What's wrong with sober? You're not wearing the swimsuit to get laughs, are you? That look fits you perfectly, Sakaki.
そう。ならいいの?
Hey, what? Hold on. Where are you going all of a sudden?
何?
We're not on school grounds today, so everyone's acting as a group. Don't just wander off by yourself.
海の家でサマーベッドを借りたから向こうの木陰で本を読むの?
Sakaki, we came all the way out to the beach, right? You can read whenever you want.
これからみんなで何かをするの?
No, nothing's set in stone yet, but...
決まったら呼んでちょうだい.
Hey, guess a change of location isn't enough to get the girl to play well with others.
あれは照れてるんじゃないかな?
What are you wearing, Amane? Why would she be?
ユージが水着を褒めたりするからだよ.
Oh, I see. Incidentally, care to explain that thing? Looking to get laughs?
変かなこれ?
I'm not sure if that's the right word, but just what kind of swimsuit is that? No, does that thing even qualify as a swimsuit in the first place? Seems more like a few pieces of string.
ああ、確かに欠陥品かも。これ動くと横から胸がこぼれちゃうのよね。
That's because you're wearing it so loosely. Why don't you tighten up the top?
それがさ、あんまりきつく縛るとこうおっぱいがボヨッとはみ出すっていうか、なんか無駄にエロくなるっていうか、お歳暮のハムみたいだしさ。
Well, in your case, I guess anything but a sexy swimsuit would have felt like a letdown in terms of character consistency.
でしょ? ねえ、どう? 似合ってる?
Well, yes, it's certainly an appropriate choice. To the point that it's hard to imagine anybody but you wearing it. Exactly, Yuji. That's really nothing to giggle about. Wait, Amane, you start snacking already?
ああ、これ? 海の家で着替え終わって出てきたら、お店の人がタダでくれたんだもの。焼きとうもろこし食べる?
Corn is pretty good for you. It's actually pretty low in calories. But I don't know what it's grilled by, you know? Never know how much oil they actually put in corn on the cob. Do they actually put oil though? I don't know. I don't go to the beach. Tell me, why do you always eat rod-shaped things like you're auditioning for a softcore porno? Do you really need to lick and slurp your way around it with that dirty gleam in your eye?
エッチな顔してるかな?
Alright, try eating some. We'll do a little test. Damn you, God. Amane's slightly plump lips crawl across the surface of the corn. Every once in a while, with a light pant of breath through her nose, she sinks her teeth in with an expression of ecstasy. Hold it, Amane. Take a look around you. Amane's white teeth pick out from between her pink lips as she separates her mouth from the corn with a wet pop. Looking around her, she finds every male nearby red from ear to ear, stealthily shooting glances in her direction. Because you're eating that thing in a very weird way. Anime games are a mistake, my dudes. Look, you, I was tiptoeing around that for a reason. How about a little sympathy for all the poor guys who just jerk their eyes away awkwardly? Isn't that basically what Amani's wearing, but a size lower? Black is it? Pretty bold color selection. Tisk, 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 Machina. My preference say it's actually pink. Well, it's not that big a problem in Machina's case, but I really think you should have chosen something with a little more cloth, Amane. And even as you speak, your tits begin to fall out of your top. As for Machina, your stomach is kind of poking out there, you know? Well, I guess that is more your style, Machina, so it's all good. I am totally lost about all this stuff talking about swimsuits and bikinis. Most of the time, the swimsuit that people wear over here, like I said, I don't go to the beach, but I do go to like swimming pools and water resorts, or what do you call that? Water parks. And people usually wear like onesies. You know, the swimsuit that covers your full body. I think that's because most of the time people here in Indonesia are not particularly confident with their bodies, I'm assuming. Where's that ominous sound coming from? Sounds like something dragging itself across the land. And that moan of bitter woe, what on earth? Yeah, this is exactly what people in Indonesia mostly wear. Stuff like Michiru's wearing there. I know that's like the school swimsuit thing in Japan. When I was there, I wasn't really sure what Japan actually used as swimsuits. I guess a bikini is popular, but like I said, I'm not really a guy that goes to the beach, so I didn't check when I was there. Michiru takes one quavering step forward, then crumbles on the spot. Without missing a beat, she begins to crawl her way toward the water, clawing the sandy beach for traction. What is it about the sea that drives her to such lengths? Having come to the beach, I think she feels obligated to enjoy it to the fullest, even if it literally kills her. Before long, Michiru's strength fails her, and her valiant struggle comes to a halt. My brain just replaces struggle with effort, like instinctively. Lying flat on her side, she begins to gnash her teeth and bewail her weakness.
番組後半にやってたウミガメの産卵のシーンじゃないかな。
おお、そうそう、それそれ。卵を産み終えたウミガメのお母さんが海に帰るシーンにそっくりなのよさ。チルチル、頑張って。私、ウミガメじゃないわよ。産んで。うまーん。だから私はガメじゃないってのよ。
みちる様、何か私にお手伝いできることはないですか？
情けは無用よ。私は意地でも自力で海へ。おお、なかなかの根性な。じゃあチルチルのことはほっといて、私たちはいち早く海を堪能するのよさ。
待って、マキちゃん。
It's actually nice. This game has a lot of voice dialogue. I know I keep talking about Artanelico, but I had to voice act so many scenes in that game because there's not a lot of voice dialogues. Some of the main events are voiced, but most of them are not. It actually makes me think that that is way more of a, you know, of a visual novel than an actual game. Well, technically it is a visual novel. Very long one too.
若い人は元気があっていいわね。
Come on, Chizuru. You're still young yourself.
またそんな見えすいたお世辞を言って。
What, you don't want my flattery? If so, it's less work for me, so no skin off my nose.
どうしてそういう意地悪を言うんです？
Sorry, that wasn't my real intention. Truth is, I've always been the childish sort of guy who teases girls to try to get their attention. Haven't grown out of it yet.
ずるい子。
Guilty as charged.
おーい、ユージー。
Nice swimsuit though.
ほら、呼んでるわよ。行ってきたら？
You aren't going to swim, Chizuru?
私はいいわ。荷物番してるから、あなたは行ってきなさいな。
Very adultish of you. But I'm the one who invited you to the beach. Doesn't really seem right to just leave you alone.
教員相手に真面目な顔してそういうこと言わないの。
Not trying to be pushy here, but my master always told me to give women 2 chances to say yes. Why don't we swim together, Chizuru?
私、泳げないのよ。
Want me to teach you?
嬉しいけど、それはまた今度ね。
Alright. In that case, I'll see you later.
はい、行ってらっしゃい。
She is officially our chaperone, and I guess it's understandable that she can't romp around with her students. But we came all the way out to this nice beach, right? I don't think anyone would complain if she floated around a bit. But when I look back, the principal's sitting under the beach parasol with one arm wrapped around her knees, fluttering a hand to urge me away. With a small shrug, I turn my back on her and head for the sea.
学園長の方はもういいの？
Not a problem. I'll give her a nice pat on the ass later. More importantly, did you need me for something?
ねえユージ、あんた泳げる？
I like how Amani is so immune to Yuji's bullshit that she just ignored him like that. Well enough.
どのぐらいのレベルで？
Kind of hard to say exactly. Let's see. I'm good enough to earn a C-card diving qualification, I guess. When I was in America, I picked up a good number of diving credentials. Even after returning to Japan, I did a bit of rowboat training with a group of combat engineers. I'm nowhere near the level of the specialized divers from the Special Ops branch, but for more typical purposes, there shouldn't be any problem with my ability to handle myself in the water. It's been a while since I last swam in the ocean, but I don't anticipate any difficulties.
じゃあさ、マキナに水泳を教えてあげてくれないかな？
I don't mind, but my lessons tend to be pretty severe, you know? How about you teach her instead, Amani?
いや、私もできればそうしたいんだけどね。
What? You can't swim either?
泳げないっていうか、泳ぐと水着が脱げちゃうっていうか、ポロリとこぼれちゃうというか。
Should have just used a school swimsuit, Amani. For future reference, a swimsuit should generally be something you're actually capable of swimming in.
私も油断してとパイオツがポロリしちゃうのよさ。
Yes, because the cloth barely has anything to catch on. The same problem I ask. You know, no shame, shrimp.
シ
木の下の全肉寄せ集めてんのよ。
Can you explain to me how I'm supposed to teach the girl anything when her swimsuit's going to fall off after a few strokes?
だからさ、軽くコツみたいなものをゆるっと教えてあげればそれでいいのよ。今日は遊びに来てんだから、あんま本気にならないでいいんじゃない？
I wonder if girls actually talk about breast sizes and all that shit. I know this is something that anime does a shit ton, but I am actually pretty curious if girls actually do that in real life. Kinda doubt it though. But maybe I just don't have enough female friends. Such carelessness has led many to a watery grave.
そうやって何でも真剣に向き合うのは悪いことじゃないけど、たまには何も考えずに遊んでみたらどうなの？
Easier said than done.
まあまあ、とりあえず浮き輪もあるし沖まで行こうよ。そしたら触らせてあげるのよ。
And why would I do that?
じゃあ私のも触らせてあげるからさ。ほらほら。
Hey, you're a pushy woman.
貧乳だけどツンと上を向いたあたい。
巨乳な上にエロいあたい。
I don't care, Amane.
さあどっち？
I'm not going to decide anything.
つまり両方欲しいと。
もうお兄ちゃんたら欲しがりね。エッチ。
Say what you want. Man, these girls are so much trouble.
海にたどり着けないなら、せめて砂遊びだけでも満喫してやるんだから。
Nice swimsuit, by the way, Sachi. I do like the frills on the swimsuit. It's pretty cute.
よろしいのですか？
何がよ。
みちる様がそうして砂と戯れている間に、風見さんはおっぱいにつられていってしまいますよ。
こんな立って歩くこともできない状態で私にどうしろってのよ。
一言手を貸せと申し付けいただければすぐにでもお力添えできますが。
いいわよ。どうせ胸じゃあまねには勝てないし。
わかりました。みちる様がそこまでおっしゃられるのであれば、この小峰幸喜んでみちる様の砂遊びに加わらせていただきます。
幸、こんなウミガメにも劣る私に優しくしてくれるなんて、あんたやっぱりいいやつだったのね。
私のことはいいんです。それより頑張って原寸大プラハ城を作りましょう。
私も頑張ってプラハ城を作る。って原寸
プラハ城は現在のチェコ共和国にあるお城で、長さは約570メートル、平均幅は約130メートルで、世界で最も古くて大きなお城の一つとしてギネスブックにも載っています。
それ作れるの？
大丈夫です。お城の外観は完璧に覚えてきましたから。
いや、そういう問題じゃなくてね。
さあみちる様、まずは下地となるフラッチェニの丘の再現から始めましょう。
お願いだから作るのはもっと簡単なものにして。ねえ、もうだいぶ沖まで来たんだし、そろそろいいんじゃない？
Yeah, guess you're right. Let's begin a swimming lesson.
あ、そっち？
What's that supposed to mean? It is what we're out here for.
まあいいけど。
Okay, Machina. Tell me, can you put your face underwater?
おい、そんぐらいは寮のお風呂で毎日やってんのよさ。あまね、ちょっと浮き輪持ってて。
いいけど、何すんの？
見よ、必殺だるま浮き。
だるま浮きって何？
What, you don't know it? You learned that float in elementary school swimming class.
え？そうなの？うちの地元じゃそんなのやらなかったけどな。
Man, elementary school swimming class was super bad for me. I had one of those instructors or coach that would push your head into the water when you don't have enough breath. It was so torture. Like, those teachers actually are fucking dumb in the head. I have no idea why that guy became a teacher. definitely not something I would want to re-experience. Of course, I can swim now, but definitely not thanks to that guy. I had to take a swimming course when I was in middle school. Alright then. Can you pull off a jellyfish float?
今度はクラゲ？
Where the turtle float involves pulling your knees to your chest, the jellyfish float has you dangle your limbs loosely down, like the corpse of an Indian soldier carried along the Yagachi River.
なんとなくわかるけど、他の言い方はなかったのかな。
Alright, Machina. Try to feel the bitter regrets and stubborn pride of a freedom fighter. Gunned down by the colonialists before your dreams of an independent nation could be realized. Yes, good.
何がいいのかさっぱりわからないし、これって楽しいの？
Okay, next up, we'll do a dead man's float. Tuck your chin toward your chest, extend your limbs straight out, and keep yourself horizontal. Consciously keep yourself slim and streamlined, like you become a submarine.
急速先行！ベーンと開け！
Oh? Looking pretty good. However, your butt's floating up a bit. Main tank, short blow.
ちょいブロー！
Take her down 16, up periscope.
深さ16！潜望鏡上げ！あのさ、泳ぎを教えてるんだよね。
Hey, at least she's having fun, Amane. Hmm? Yes? What about it? Look at that, she's maintaining a beautiful horizontal. If you can float this well, it's just as good as swimming.
そうかな。
You seem dubious, Amane, but can you do the same? I kind of get the feeling you wouldn't be able to keep up this level afloat. What with those oversized ballast tanks?
何よそれ。パイオツのことなのよさ。なんかお風呂に浮かべたザボンのようにでかいからバランス悪いのよきっと。まあ確かに足の方から沈むわね私。なんかさっきから顔出したまま平泳ぎしてるけど、もしかしてあんまね潜れない人？いいでしょ、潜れなくても泳げれば。あまねは脂肪が多いから沈まないのよさ。脂肪って言うなもう。
Meanwhile,
寂しいねえ榊さん、あなたさっきからそうしてずっと本を読んでいるけれど海には入らないの？
自分から進んで入ろうとは思いませんね。
どうして？誰かが誘ってくれるのを待っているの？
別にそういうわけではありませんし、誘われたところで何らかの理由をつけて断ると思います。
せっかく海に来たのに。
そうおっしゃられる学園長はなぜ海に入らないのですか？
私泳げないのよ。さすがにこの年でイリスさんと一緒にバタ足の練習をするわけにもいかないでしょ。
I don't think that's any issue, Chizuru. Doesn't matter what age you're at, really.
つまり技能的な問題で海には入れないというわけですね。
まあそういうことになるかしらね。
私は精神的な問題で海には入りたくないんです。
精神的というと海に何か嫌な思い出でも？
いいえ、温室育ちを自白するようで恥ずかしいのですが、ただ単純に海はなんだか不衛生な気がして入りたくないんです。
Really? I mean, I guess that is a pretty sheltered way of thinking.
それはなんだかわかるような気がするけど、だったらどうして海に行こうって話が出た時に反対しなかったのかしら。
それは普通に仲間意識というか、これでも一応わがままなお嬢様と思われないような努力をしているつもりです。
一人で反発して品種を買うのも嫌だし、かといって仲間外れにされるのもごめんこうもると。
そうです。おかしいですか？
いいえ、ただあなたを見ているとなんだか昔の自分を見ているようで面早いわね。
子供じみた真似をしているという自覚があります。笑わないでください。
笑ってなんかいないわ。でもそうね、あなたには必殺の言葉を教えてあげましょう。
必殺？
ええ、必殺。私が学生の頃友達に教わったのだけれど、結局一度も口にしたことはないわ。
一度も口にしたことがないのに必殺なんですか？
え、だからあなたが試してみてくれない？
はあ。
I don't remember what you said, Chizuru.
遊んだ遊んだ、たっぷり遊んでお腹が減ったのよさ。晩ご飯まだ？
今、あまねさんが車でお肉と野菜を買いに行ってるから、もう少し待ってね。夕飯はバーベキューよね。本当に私は何もしないでいいの？はい、お任せください。
ちょっと、バーベキューはいいけどご飯は？私、晩ご飯はお米がないと満足しないわよ。いろいろ体力使っちゃったからね。
それなら大丈夫です。今あちらで風見さんが飯盒でご飯を炊いてますから。
ああ、そうならいいけど、あいつちゃんと炊けるの？
Michiru, you clearly never cook rice in your life. Cooking rice is not difficult by any means.
結構上手なのよ。へえ。
風見くん、何か手伝うことはあるかしら？
Oh, Sakaki. I'm fine. Nothing to worry about here. I'm used to cooking rice outdoors.
飯盒一つなのね。
It's round, unlike the elliptical military models, so it can cook a full meal for 5. Even split between the 7 of us, it'll be around 235 grams each. That's actually a lot of rice. I think usually I eat about 250. You know, whenever I eat out. Of course, I don't actually count when I eat at home. But it's pretty simple to count when it's like serving in a restaurant. A typical bowl of rice is maybe 150, so there should be more than enough.
そうね。
Hmm? What is it? Still need me for something?
そうじゃないけど、私がいると邪魔？
You're not in my way, but this isn't exactly interesting to watch, you know?
ええ、分かっているわ。
You're a strange one.
あなた、何でもできるのね。
Hmm? Well, pretty much anyone can handle cooking rice in a simple aluminum mess kit.
見ていたけど、あなた、泳ぎも随分と達者なようね。
Well, as much as the next guy, I guess. It's probably because I've spent so much time in harsh circumstances, where the ability to cook rice and swim competently are simply prerequisites for survival. But neither of these strikes me as anything worth boasting about. Now that I think about it, it's been a while since the last time I swam in the sea for fun.
そうなの？なんだかあなた、アウトドアとか好きそうじゃない？普段は山が多いのかしら？
No, I prefer cycling, Yumiko. But I don't think Yuji's into cycling. No, it's more that I've spent time in the sea for work. But it's been longer since I took a swim for pleasure. Let's see. I guess the last time was a summer camp back when I was in middle school.
あなた、中学校はアメリカだったのでしょ？
Yeah. But either way, it's probably a little different from the sort of camp you're imagining, Sakaki.
どう違うの？
That's a little hard to explain, but... Alright. So at the end of my 6-month first term at that school, there was an exam to determine whether we'd be promoted from reserve student candidate to reserve student. One day, our instructor gets the group together and says, in 1 week, you'll be taking a cruise to a southern island for a week of relaxing fun in the sun. A cruise might sound nice, but we were getting crammed into a ship carrying a bunch of reserve candidates from another branch. The boat was taking them out for naval training and dropping us off pretty much as an afterthought. So anyway, on the way to our destination, we stopped by a port to resupply on fuel. It happened to be a Navy base, so a bunch of students like us weren't allowed off the ship. They kept us waiting for hours at the mouth of the harbor. We arrived at the port in the morning, but we were still sitting there late in the afternoon. It was just about this time of day, actually. So the sun starts to go down and we're still standing in the mouth of the harbor with our anchor dropped. No idea how long they plan to keep us waiting. Might be here all night, you know? So we start preparing dinner. But of course, we're talking about making food for 100 people at once. When the ship's sailing, the ventilation's fine. But when you're sitting there anchored, that's not the case. The warm air from the cooking made the interior of the ship unbearably hot in no time at all. Our entire cruise group, along with all the naval guys who weren't on duty, came out on deck in a desperate attempt to get a little cool. But this was a southern island, right near the equator, so it was hardly any improvement. At that point, our squad leader pressed the instructors for permission to swim and managed to get the okay. So everyone jumped into the sea from the deck and played around for a while.
それがあなたが海で最後に遊んだ思い出？
Yeah, guess so.
だってその後キャンプに行ったのでしょ？そこでは遊泳はしなかったの？
Didn't really have the time to play around at that camp. They dropped us off at some uninhabited, anonymous island surrounded by rocks. There wasn't a decent bit of level ground on the entire barren island, let alone a sandy beach. They loaded us on a launch with our personal equipment and some chickens, then dropped us off there for our fun in the sun.
鶏？
Live ones, as rations. Place didn't have much in the way of water, let alone food, so they released 20 birds. Told us to do what we wanted with them, capture them and make them lay eggs, snap their necks and eat them raw. Whatever.
中学生にしては随分と過酷なサマーキャンプね。
I mean, can't really... can't really compare your experience with Yuji, Yumiko. You think? People did give up and fail the test, but it was pretty rare for anyone to die. So our instructors always said it was practically a vacation.
少なくとも私には絶対に無理だわ。そんな環境。
Yeah, you don't seem like you'd be particularly good at that sort of thing.
そうね。ものの数時間で音を上げる自信があるわ。
Now that I think about it, maybe I should apologize for making you tag along in our little outdoor expedition today.
気にしないでいいわ。
Kinda rare that you're talking to Yuji out of your own volition though, Yumiko. What brought this on? You ended up not going into the water though. Looked like you were reading the whole time. Kinda wasted your time, didn't we?
いつもと違う環境というのはそれなりに価値があったと思うし、そもそも本当に嫌だったら最初から来ないよ。私はそういう女よ。
True enough.
でも
But
あなたがいなければ私は来なかったわ。きっと。
I see. So it's my fault after all. Sorry, Sakaki.
いや、そういうことではなくて。
おーいユージー、お肉と野菜買ってきたよ。ご飯はもう炊けた？
I think usually it takes what, half an hour to an hour to make rice? Well, in a rice cooker it takes that long. I don't know about a mess kit, but shouldn't be all that different. Yeah, it'll be cooked soon.
じゃあさ、そっち終わったらこっちのかまどに火を起こすの手伝ってくれる？
Fine, I'll be over in a minute. So, what were we talking about again?
もういいわ。
If you say so.
これが必殺ね。
What are you talking about?
学園長が未だに独身の理由がなんとなく分かったような気がしただけよ。
What? Where's this coming from?
なんでもないわ。
So that was her secret power? I wouldn't have come without if you weren't here? Useless. Useless, Chizuru. Or maybe it's not useless, it's just that Yuji is not really the type that would pick up on that. I've come to believe that the desire to talk in cryptic circles may be a defining characteristic of the female gender. It seems Sakaki is no exception to the general rule. Stop being sexist, Yuji. By the time we finished off our barbecue dinner, the day is beginning to grow dark in earnest. All of a sudden, Amane snaps her fingers, trots off to her mini truck, and opens the passenger door.
ね、花火やらない？
Fireworks?
うん、さっき買い出しに行った時、ついでに買っておいたの忘れるところだったわ。ねえ、アマネ、ロケットは？ロケット花火ないの？ロケット花火は音が大きいし、ゴミの回収が難しいから禁止よ。
Yeah, those are actually pretty expensive too, you know?
花火といえばロケットでしょうよ。なんで買 ってこないのよ。あんた去年の夏も同じこと言って危ないからやめなさいって言ったのに、ロケット花火の大量同時点火して自爆したの覚えてないの？去年は去年。今年の私を去年の私と同じだと思ったら大間違いよ。何がどう変わったのかさっぱりわからないけど、とにかく今年は禁止。おとなしくドラゴンでもやってなさい。何よ。ねえちょっとユージ、あんた男なんだからわかるわよね。
No, I don't really play with fireworks, Michiru. I don't mind watching them, but I myself never really buy fireworks with my own money. Way too expensive.
花火といえばロケット。爆発しないで何が花火よ。そう思わない？
To be honest, I'm not a big fan of explosions. I'd rather stick to safe fireworks. Psychological trauma might be overstating things, but when there's a sudden barrage of harsh cracks and pops nearby, I can hear the screams of ghosts. Burned into my ears a long time ago. And when someone sets off a flashy skyrocket in the dark night sky, it's hard to resist the instinctive urge to throw myself flat to the ground and crawl for cover. Unlike the distinct sugary sweet smell of Semtex and HMX, the odor of fireworks is reminiscent of gunpowder, so every time I catch a whiff, memories of the muddy jungle flood back into my head, and I recall the taste of blood like scorched iron on my tongue. Can't help but slightly furrow my brow. Come to think of it, you're strangely quiet, Machina. I think this sort of thing would be right up your alley.
興味はあるけど、花火やったことないのよ。ちょっと怖いのよ。
Don't worry, the ones you hold in your hand are perfectly safe. Want to give it a try? Yeah, those are just typical sparklers. The skyrockets Sachi ended up preparing faintly colored the night sky one after another, burning light after images into our retinas. This time, the sharp aroma of hydrogen sulfide that reaches my nose doesn't seem as bad as all that. Probably because of the smiles and laughter of my classmates as they watch the sky at my side. I wish this could last forever. Will that childish hope vanish as quickly as the blaze of a firework in the night? Even then, I don't think I'll forget this moment. I don't think I'll ever forget that there was a time in my life when everything was peaceful and warm. And as long as I have that memory, I think I'll be able to go on living.
花火の後片付け終了しました。
I see you're wearing your mate uniform already, Sachi. I thought in that CG you were wearing your bikini.
ご苦労様。さて、花火も終わったし、帰ろっか。私たちの学園に。
Oh, okay, we're coming back.
そうね。そろそろ戻りましょうか。普段の私たちに。
I think this might be the last event before we get to our route. Yuji really pushing, or not pushing, but like, really like triggering that flag.
それはいいけど、帰りは私、浜根の隣はもう嫌よ。そんなに嫌わなくても傷つくな。帰りは上りだからちゃんとおとなしく運転するわよ。
Want me to ride with you?
いいね。そのまま二人でどっか行っちゃおうか。やめなさいって。ちょうどよくマキナが寝てるから、あんたはマキナ乗せて帰りなさい。なんだよもう、冗談じゃない。そないケンケン怒らんでも。
スオさんの場合冗談に聞こえないから困っちゃうのよね。
学園長まで私をビッチ扱い？
I was driven to this place by a vague impatience, the desire for something, but even now, I haven't pinned down exactly what I'm looking for. Not knowing what I want, it's impossible to find a clear path forward. But in that brief moment on the beach, as transitory as the glow of the sparklers in our hands, I forgot all about that. I forgot to be anxious, frustrated. I forgot that I'm stumbling in fog. And on the return trip, the cool wind quietly blowing through the lowered car window feels strangely refreshing. The soothing touch of the air on my sunburned face feels almost like a caress. For some reason that I can't express in words, it makes me feel that it's too early to give up hope. This might sound odd coming from someone who's still pretty much a kid, in mind as well as body, but it seems young people these days don't wear wristwatches. That's not to say they don't feel the need to check the time. They simply use their cell phones instead. I used to wear, what was it, like a fitness tracker, but I don't wear it anymore because it seems that my skin is very sensitive to the metal behind them. Even the cheapest mobile phone has a digital clock built in, so I guess they don't see any reason to bother carrying around a separate tool for the specific purpose of telling time. Of course, like a good modern youngster, I myself constantly carry around a personal cell phone. The difference is that I almost never use mine. I don't really see the appeal of racking up a huge phone bill by firing off pointless texts or killing time with aimless gossip. To be honest, I tend to view phones in general as a means to receive calls, rather than make them. Cell phones allow us to talk whenever we want, and that's an undeniable convenience. But on the other hand, they create the expectation that you'll answer the phone at any time. The way I look at it, that's about as inconvenient as it gets. From the inside of my school bag, currently hanging next to my desk, I hear the muffled sound of an unpleasant electronic jingle. The bag wiggles slightly as something vibrates inside. My cell phone's ringing. The only person who knows my cell phone number is JB. Judging from the way that the phone stops ringing at once, this was probably an email. And as a rule, JB contacts me through actual calls. I don't think she sent me a single email to date. More spam? Odds are it's junk mail. Still, I can't just ignore it. There's a non-zero possibility that JB is using email to contact me under circumstances where talking would be impractical or dangerous. But when I open my bag and take a look inside, the LED alert is flashing on my private cell phone, not the one I use for work. I click my tongue lightly in annoyance. Just to be on the safe side, I slide the phone open and take a look at the email. Subject, it's Kyoko. And who the hell is Kyoko supposed to be? The mail is from the leisure club. And as for its contents, it seems a bored and lonely housewife by the name of Kyoko, age 32, is willing to give me pocket money if I keep her company. The very model of a spam email. This sort of offer is about as credible as Hanoi Hana's "Throw away your gun, GI." GI? Is this supposed to reference something here? I don't know what this is referencing. And our benevolent Uncle Ho, who will give you a paddy field and your very own water buffalo. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Best to remember that unless you want to get taken for a ride. Or get a free lunch. These days, no one's going to give you air if they can charge you for it. I'm slightly irritated at myself for even reading this worthless crap. The way this sort of trivial annoyance tends to pop up several times a day is one of the major reasons I don't particularly like cell phones.
ダメだよユージ。学校にいる間は携帯はマナーモードにしておかないと授業中に音が鳴ったら怒られるよ。
Yeah.
っていうか、あんた携帯なんか持ってたんだ。
Hey now, I'm a modern youth in my own right, you know? Of course I've got a cell phone.
ねえ、そんじゃさ、アドレス交換しよっか。
Why?
いや、なぜってことはないでしょうが、携帯持ってんだからアドレス交換ぐらい普通じゃない。サラリーマンの名刺交換みたいなものよ。
I mean, we live in the same dorm though. That a fact.
何してんのよさ。ユージの携帯とアドレス交換しようと思って。お兄ちゃん、携帯持ってたの？
Is it really that surprising?
なんかユージってさ、変におっさん臭いというか、じじむさいというか、こういう若者文化に疎そうな感じするよね。
I don't think cell phone is a youth culture, Mani. It's just modernization. Globalization? I think it's interchangeable.
夜のは軟弱だとか言いそうなのよさ。
Just what do you people think I am? Makina stares at the cell phone in my hand with eyes full of wonder. It's the expression of someone who's found a caveman holding a cheap cigarette lighter. Why am I getting the idea these people just might be calling me Kromanon Kazami behind my back? I don't know what that reference is. Damn you me!
とりあえずさ、せっかくなんだし、番号とアドレス交換しようよ。ね。
I have no clue what's special about this occasion, but revealing my confusion now would probably only encourage their Kromanon theory. This is a cell phone for my private use, so I suppose there's no reason I can't give out the number and email address. Alright, I'll read out the number. What was it again?
なに、自分の携帯の番号を覚えてないわけ？
It's not like you tend to call your own cell phone, right? What's so strange about not knowing it off the top of my head?
つーか、あんた友達とかいないの？
A certain quack doctor once said it's better not to make friends with patients.
どうせみんなすぐ死んでしまうからだってか？
Okay, so how do I make this thing display my own number anyway?
別にわざわざ表示させなくても赤外線通信で送ればいいのに。
What the? Infrared? We don't even use that thing anymore, Machina. This is like, what, 10 years plus after this game came out? The heck is that?
だから赤外線を使って番号とかアドレスとかそういう個人データを他の携帯に転送できるのよさ。
Though I'm not sure how prevalent this is in Japan. Japan's models are, you know, not the same as I don't know, maybe back then. I don't know if it's like the same now. But I do know that back then Japan was kind of late into getting into the whole smartphone things, right? Didn't even know it could do that.
貸して私がやってあげよう。
Very well. I deposit my cell phone in Machina's outstretched hand.
おーい、携帯原始人のくせに4月に出たばっかの新機種なのよさ。生意気な。
Mind your own business. It's not like I picked the thing out. I've just been carrying around the one JB gave to me.
よっしゃ、送信準備 OK。 あまねえ、受信の準備して。
あれ？ねえマキナ、これどうやるんだっけ？いや、使ったことはあるんだけどさ。ど忘れ？
Looks like I'm not the only cell phone Neanderthal around here.
もう、あまねえも携帯貸しなさい。私がやってあげるから。
ごめん。
Machina takes a cell phone from Amane's hand, points the infrared port toward my phone, and transfers the data.
はい、オッケー。ありゅえ？
どうかした？
番号とメアドしか転送されてないのよさ。もしかしてお兄ちゃん、携帯に自分の名前とかのプロフィール登録してないの？
Oh no, I don't remember messing around with any settings since I got the thing, so probably not.
もうこれじゃ着信しても番号しか表示されないから不便なのよさ。自分の名前ぐらい入力しておこうよ。
やーい、携帯原始人。
I don't think you're one to talk.
じゃあ私が入力しちゃっていい？
Guess I don't mind.
とかじゃあみゆうじと誕生日と血液型は？
What? Why would you put stuff like that in there?
まあ入力しておけば赤外線通信で送れるから名刺代わりになるのよ。あと顔写真とかも送れるけどどうする？
Not necessary. The name should be enough.
そう？わかった。じゃあ早速入力も終わったところで私の携帯にも送信と。うい、転送完了。私の携帯の番号もお兄ちゃんの携帯に転送しておくね。
Infrared data transfer, huh? The world's become a convenient place lately.
そういうこと言うから携帯原始人って言われるんだよ。ねえマキナ、私の番号もユージの携帯に送っておいて。
Man, the world is much more convenient nowadays, Yuji. It's even more convenient.
了解。オーケー。これでバッチリなのよさ。
ということは次は私の番ですね。
And where did you come from? It seems Sachi was observing our conversation. She's tightly grasping her own cell phone.
幸いなことに私も今時の小ギャルらしくこのように携帯電話を持っていますので、ぜひデータ交換をと思いまして。
I actually do not know what the hell Kogals are. I know in doujins they actually portray Kogals a lot with like tanned makeup, or what do you call it? They're not gyarus. I don't know what they are, actually. It's kind of weird. Not familiar with the culture. Kogals. I really don't think one hears much about that subculture these days. Could my understanding of Kogal as referring to that 90s fashion with the loose socks and dark makeup be mistaken? I think you're right, Yuji. I mean, the only reason I know about a Kogal is because of, like I said, doujins and shit. Not sure if I actually saw any when I was in Japan. Though I also did not see any gyarus, so... And I know those still exist. So my experience is not exactly guaranteed. You too, eh? To be honest, I don't really want to spread my email address around too much. A constant barrage of messages would be a serious nuisance, but...
あまねさんやまきちゃんには教えて、私には教えないというのはどうなんでしょう。ことによると、これは何かのいじめなのでしょうか。
No.
いじめ以外の目的で、私にだけは教えたくないという理由があるのでしたら、はっきりと言ってください。個人の努力の範囲で直せるのであれば直します。
No, look.
目の色が気に入らないとおっしゃるのであれば、目をくり抜きましょう。肌の色が尺に触るのであれば、全身の皮を剥ぎましょう。さあ、おっしゃってください。私の何が至らないのかを。
Okay, you're seriously scaring me right now. I'll give you my number, so just stop.
そんな、それではまるで私が無理やり聞き出したかのような。
Ah, man. I really want Sachi to know my number, and my email address for that matter. I want to tell her so bad it's driving me mad. Please, Sachi, allow me to give them to you.
はい、ぜひ。もう、風見さんは本当にツンデレですね。わざと私をじらして楽しんでいたんですよね。
Whatever you say, Sachi.
そういうプレイがお好きなんですか？
Hey, Amane, tell me, can I flip out at this point?
なぜ私に聞く？
Well, whatever. Go ahead and shoot infrared rays around. I don't care.
よし、飛ばすぞ。サッチン、どこに飛ばしてほしい？
できればお顔に。
Mane, tell me, can I hit these people?
だから、なぜ私に聞く？
And just as my patience meter is falling into the red zone, there's a flash of vivid gold in the corner of my eye. Hey, hold it, Bottle Blonde.
何よ。
What are you doing? Don't tell me you want to know my number too.
何を言っているの？バカじゃないの？なんで私があんたみたいなやつの番号を知りたがるわけ？ありえないんだけど。その割には手にしっかりと携帯握ってるよね。いつの間にか近寄ってきてるし。
しかもさりげに手にした携帯は受信待ち状態です。漏れ飛んできた赤外線を横から盗み取ろうとしてないですか？
うるさいわね。勝手に人の携帯の画面盗み見てんじゃないわよ。
Says the girl who's trying to steal someone's phone number without permission.
どうでもいいでしょうが。これはあれよ。あんたの娘を誘拐した時、あんたに身代金を要求するために番号を手に入れようとしていたのよ。
I've met quite a few villains in my life, but this bold a kidnapper is a definite first. Sorry to disappoint, but I don't have a daughter.
ユージの番号が知りたいなら素直にそう言えばいいのに。うるさいわよ。そんな男の番号知りたくもないわよ。いいからさっさと教えなさいよ。どっちなのよ。
In the end, Michiru thrusts her cell phone toward me in a virtual panic, so I transfer over my number. Not really a problem since I don't think she's likely to use it anyway. But at this point, the majority of the class has my contact information. The only one left would be... Hey there, Sakaki. I call out to Sakaki who is currently sitting in the corner of the classroom, impassively reading a book.
何かしら？
You've got a cell phone too, I assume. Here, record my number.
必要ないわ。
Alright, then give me yours.
どうして？それこそ必要ないでしょ。
Very necessary. When I kidnap your daughter, I need to be able to get in touch so I can demand a ransom. Fork it over.
私に娘なんかいないわ。
Is there some reason you don't want to give me your contact information?
別にないわ。でも、あなたに番号を教える理由もないでしょ。
I want to know. Does that not qualify? Sakaki closes her book with a resigned expression and gets up from her seat.
あまり気楽にメールをしないでいただけると助かるわ。
As she speaks, Sakaki takes out a cell phone from the pocket of her uniform and holds it out toward me indifferently. What, you're giving me your number after all?
知りたいんでしょ？言ったと思うけど、別に知られて困るような理由はないわ。さっさと済ませてくれる？
Yeah, sorry. Hey you, I need my cell phone back.
何？
Give the damn phone back already. I need to register Sakaki's number.
榊さんの？本当に？
Yes, really. What's the big deal?
だって榊さん、私たちにも番号を教えてくれなかったのに、なんでユージにだけ？
Probably because she finds you annoying.
嘘、本当に榊さんがそう言ったの？
私はそんなこと一言も。
Well, you do kind of seem like the type to send people completely worthless messages, Amani. You know, I'm on the toilet now. Just doesn't want to come out though. Boo-hoo. With a crying emoticon at the end.
そんなメールするか！何？話？
I don't know why that was censored, but yes, Machina. We were talking about shitting. In the middle of her sentence, Machina's sandals squeak loudly. Okay.
その話題に食いつくな！もう私そんなメールしないし。
うっこといえば皆さんこんなお話をご存知ですか？
The way those sandals keep squeaking strike me as a little unnatural. This is so dumb. But nobody else seems to pay it any mind.
この話を広げようとするな！あんたたちね、いい年して大きな声で叫ぶんじゃないわよ。小学生じゃないんだから。あんただって叫んでんじゃないのよ。つか面白がってんじゃないわよ。
Sorry, this is my fault. Everyone, please stop talking about Amani's shit.
頭を下げるな！まるで私がおそそしちゃったみたいな空気にするな！
Really though, maybe Machina needs a new pair. Those things are really noisy today.
まあ落ち着けよ。結局何の話だったのよさ。だからなんだっけ、榊さんがユージに自分の携帯の番号を教えようとしてたから驚いてたのよ。由美子が自分から番号を教えるなんてどういう風の吹きだまり？
それを言うなら吹き回しです、みちる様。
知ってるわよ、わざとよ。あんたを試したのよ。
はいはい、試されちゃいましたね。
ムカつく。何よその顔。
でも確かに榊さんが自分から番号を教えるなんて珍しいですよね。私が聞いた時には教えてくれませんでしたし。
それは別にただプライベートなことだから。
でも風見さんには教えたんですよね。
そのことに別に深い意味は。
As Sakaki stumbles over her words, Machina sidles up to her, then slaps a hand down on her shoulder with a light thump.
お兄ちゃんのことを狙ってんのか？まあ無理もないのよさ。お兄ちゃんかっこいいもんな。
私、あなたのそういうところが苦手だわ。
そう？じゃあとりあえずせっかくだしユミちゃんの番号もみんなで登録しておこっか。そうね、せっかくだしね。まあ別に興味ないけど減るもんじゃないしね。
ですね。
ちょっと私の携帯。
Sakaki reaches out desperately, but it's already too late. Her brutish classmates have abducted her phone and proceed to take turns bombarding it with their infrared rays. Why are you glaring at me?
どうしてくれるの？
What do you want from me? We're the playthings of the moment. No point in trying to resist. Give it up.
変な気まぐれを起こした私がバカだったわ。
Stupid. Don't be mad. For the record, I meant what I said. I really did want to know your number.
そういう言い方はずるいわ。
Show me a man who plays fair, and I'll show you a very talented cheater.
お待たせ。登録し終わったから黒くて色気のない携帯返してあげる。
I don't know, Yuji. I think I play fair for the most part. Though if I can cheat, I will cheat. I'm not actually a good person that I'll say like I won't cheat ever.
色気がなくて悪かったわね。いいから早く返して。
はいはいごめんよ。ちなみにその携帯私たちの番号とメアドも登録しておいたからいつでもメールしてね。
勝手なことを。
ちょっと。
Sakaki grabs her phone from Amane's hand, quickly turns her back to us, and stalks off to her seat.
さすがにちょっと強引だったかな。
Being a little pushy every once in a while isn't a bad thing. I don't think Sakaki's as angry as she's letting on, to be honest.
だといいんだけど、まあそのうちメールでも送ってみますか。
You do that.
ユージもいつでも私にメールして。
Yeah, if the mood strikes me. Amane hands over my cell phone. The contact section, previously completely empty, now contains all of my classmates' numbers and email addresses. After all that fuss, I've got the complete set, but I wonder if I'll ever actually have the chance to send an email to one of them. In the first place, I've never really messaged people before. Of course, I've communicated using email programs on a PC, but up until now, I've never bothered to send one from my cell phone. Since you're using a keypad instead of a full-size keyboard, it's a time-consuming nuisance to enter the right characters. And more importantly, I've just never had any reason to do so. Until now, I guess. Damn it, Yuji, you're probably still using those, like, flip phones or some shit. Smartphones have full-size keyboards, damn you. And so, I sink a little deeper into the morass of the modern world. As I mumble to myself, a cell phone still in hand, a fuzzy-headed little creature pops up before my eyes.
お兄ちゃんは人気者なのね。
Hmm? What are you talking about?
みんながお兄ちゃんの携帯の番号を知りたがるのよさ。
Yeah, but their real goal was clearly to amuse themselves at my expense.
ユミちゃんも
In her case, I was the one looking to amuse myself.
あんまりユミちゃんをいじめると爆発しちゃうのよ。
Oh? That sounds interesting. If she's got enough power, I might be able to sell her to Nato as an anti-personal weapon. What kind of an explosive yield are we talking about here?
ツングースカ級なのよさ。
This is getting better by the second. She'll replace the tactical nuke as the endgame weapon of choice. Hell, just let people know that you've got a Sakaki, and foreign nations will watch their step.
そうだね。
Hmm? What's the matter? You seem a little down. Feeling tired after that ruckus?
平気。なんでもないのよ。
Hey, Makina. What was that about? Makina was acting somewhat strange, and even at the time, I had the general idea it had something to do with me. Her expression was almost like that of a young girl. The older sister, watching in pouty irritation as her father was monopolized by the youngest child. As if she wanted to draw my attention but couldn't figure out how. I had an older sister myself, and remember pulling something similar with my mother once or twice, so I sort of understand that type of jealousy. But in Makina's case, I wasn't convinced that was the heart of the matter. At this point, I didn't have any answers, just an open question. Don't tell me she was sulking for a childish reason like that. But several days later, that suspicion would be proven correct in a completely unexpected way. Yeah, I think it's very close to the end of the common route. Having finished up an after-school trip to the supermarket by the station, where I picked up 3 days worth of food, I'm briskly making my way back to the dorm. The contents of the plastic supermarket bag dangling from my hand. 6 cans of vegetables and beans, a head of lettuce, a box of corn cereal, a carton of milk, and a bottle of oolong tea. Wait, that's it for 3 weeks? But what? Oh, 3 days. Okay, I was like, what the fuck? 3 weeks? If Amane happened to see this assortment of groceries, she'd probably get on my case about my tragically bland diet. Not that I can really argue with that description. For me, instead of vegetables and beans, I'd probably get canned tuna. The lettuce, I'll probably get broccoli. And for corn cereal, I probably get cookies. I'll take the milk too. I don't drink tea much, so I probably will be buying like instant coffee. The thing is though, my appetite is borderline defective. I almost never get the urge to eat anything in particular. Since I don't have much in the way of preferences, my simplistic food choices are only natural. It's not really something I can change about myself. There were stretches of my life where my diet consisted entirely of hard old bread so crusty I had to soak it in water before I could sink my teeth into it. Compared to that, anything seems delicious. My private cell phone begins to buzz in the pocket of my uniform, emitting that familiar electronic jingle. It's just as unpleasant now as it was the first time I heard it. More spam was my first thought. But after my classmate seized my email address a few days ago, I've been getting messages from them relatively frequently. The most frequent sender would be Amane. Her messages are most often, "Where are you at the moment?" type inquiries about my situation. Followed by, "What do you want to eat tonight?" style survey questions about the dinner menu, which tend to leave me racking my brains for an answer. And finally, "Limited sale 4 p.m. today. Buy a pack of large eggs from Shoei," and other requests to run errands for her. Mixed in with Amane's frequent messages, I've also gotten mail from Sachi. Things like, "I have discovered a beehive hanging under the roof of the PE warehouse. I'm sending this message in the hope you might be able to assist in the extermination." That one's a pretty typical example. They tend to be polite invitations to join in unified peacekeeping operations around the school. Well, since those messages at least approach meaningful communication, they're comparatively not too bad. After all, there was that one email from Michiro that arrived in the middle of the night. After opening that particular message, I stare at the screen blankly for a good 3 seconds before finally cocking my head to the side, in the rare gesture of complete confusion. The mail's contents: "Shut up, shut up, shut up, die, 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 hate, 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 hate." A simple litany of angry words. And although I tried to remember whether I'd done anything to offend Michiru lately, no satisfactory explanation presented itself. Probably one of those chain messages, Yuji. Don't think too much about it. Which isn't to say nothing that came to mind, of course. If anything, so many things occurred to me that it was hard to pin down any particular incident that might have inspired her wrath. But when I met Michiru the next morning and brought it up, apparently while in bed that night, some stupid little mistake she'd made a long time ago popped into her head. Unable to sleep from irritation, she'd taken it out on me via email. And the mistake in question, back in elementary school science class, the teacher had asked everyone to name any fish they could think of. So Michiru raised her hand energetically and shouted out "sushi," earning the ridicule of her classmates. In other words, pretty much the most idiotic thing in the world to be losing sleep over years after the fact. Imagine, if you can, the exasperation and exhaustion I felt. Anyway, among all these messages, the only one to make me laugh was sent by Sakaki. I'd assume I wouldn't get a single email from her in the first place. So it was a bit of a surprise just to receive that message, but the real issue was its contents. To be specific, the message contained all of 4 letters. Test. Of course, one could interpret this as the condensed form of a more expressive message.
明日は原告のテストだね。ユージはちゃんと勉強してる？私はダメだ。なんか急に気になって部屋の掃除始めちゃったよ。そしたら中学時代の卒業アルバムが出てきたよ。
Yuji, I think your imagination is going crazy right now.
中学生の私、超可愛いよ。まさに鬼ラブリー。今度見せてあげるね。バイユミコ。
But somehow I think not. Probably, no, pretty much definitely. She sent it solely for the purpose of confirming that the mail would be delivered properly. That sort of methodological caution for its own sake seemed very much like Sakaki. I sent a concise receive in reply to her message and haven't received another from her since. Well then, who's it from this time? I opened the email folder on my phone with a feeling of mild embarrassment, but the title of the message is an instant letdown. Will you be my papa? From the title alone, it's pretty clearly spam. I have no idea where they get my email address since I've never given it out to anyone but my classmates. But this sort of garbage arrives at a pretty decent clip. I work for a company in the business of information, and we've got a pretty nice database. But sometimes I think a bunch of people trying to sell me phony Viagra just might have a superior intelligence network. I mean, you're not wrong, Yuji. Spam is insane. I think they actually pick up your phone number via when you like get packages. Usually they have your address and also your phone number. That's why I don't know if this is something that I'm just paranoid about, but every time I get a package, I always shred the what is it? The paper containing my phone number, address, and my name. But yeah, that might just be my paranoia working though. While reflecting on the spammer's frightening abilities, I pressed the delete button. But at that moment, my eyes jumped to the name of the sender, and I paused in utter confusion. From Irisu Machina? Machina? I canceled the deletion command, opened the bizarrely titled email, and quickly looked over the contents. Hello, this is Machina. Oni-chan, allow me to express my sincere congratulations on your continuing good health. You made a typo there, Machina. In conclusion, this constitutes a formal announcement that you have officially leveled up from Oni-chan to Papa. Thank you very much for my consideration. Yours truly. It's complete gibberish. The writing is all over the place. There are all sorts of strange typos, and not a single word is capitalized. Oh, sorry. Also, I have no idea what any of it is supposed to mean. Level up? Papa? What is this girl talking about? Well, I wasn't expecting any message from her to be particularly well composed, but this is just too incoherent. Judging from this, I think it would take quite some time to unravel the mystery if we communicate through email. I tap out a quick reply. I don't understand. Let's talk face to face. Okay, send. Awkwardly tapping out a few short words, I send back my response. Machina's reply arrives in less than a minute. Jawohl. The fuck? Why German? I don't know what that means, damn you, Machina. Does she want to meet in Valhalla or what? Anyway, it's pretty obvious that finding a girl and talking face to face is the only way this will get cleared up. Of course. Oh, sorry. My hands just clicked on itself. Twitchy fingers. Of course, even then, we're dealing with Machina here. Smooth mutual understanding may be too much to hope for. But at the very least, communication in person is none of the lag time of a text message. And unlike a phone call, you can give the other party a good smack when necessary. I agree with Yuji. I hurry back toward the dormitory and my conference with Machina. "15 minutes later, I pass through the school gate on my way back to the dorm. As I'm cutting through the courtyard, I observe a bizarre object a little ways off. The rounded, soft-looking object in question lies slack on the brick-paved ground. To be more specific, it appears to be the corpse of a little girl. Or, if you'd prefer more idyllic phrasing, a young woman seems to have fainted. This can't be happening. I let the plastic bag fall from my hand on the spot and rush to the girl's side. With every stride, her outline grows clearer, until at last the figure of the collapsed individual comes into sharp definition. Unruly curly hair that sticks out in every direction, a face as round as a dumpling, and a trademark touch of stupidity, knee-high socks of 2 different colors. In every particular, it's Irisu Machina. Hey, Machina! What's wrong? Machina stretched out limply on the ground like a marionette cut from its strings. When I lift her up by the shoulders, her mouth flops open to reveal a white stick. What is this? The thin white stick emerging from her mouth is clearly man-made, and it seems to be protruding from the depths of her throat. At a glance, it looks like the stick from a lollipop, but that can't be right, can it? Wavering between relief and doubt, I thrust my fingers inside Machina's mouth and pinch the white stick in question. I give it a hard yank, but whatever it is, it's lodged in there pretty firmly. God damn it! Working against my brute force attempt, the stick is not only short and difficult to grasp, but also slippery with Machina's saliva. It looks like it should pop right out, but doesn't budge. I'm reminded of the legendary sword in the stone. Little punk, is this a trial? Pull me out if you can and you'll be recognized as the hero of legend? I again grab the white stick with my fingers, then give Machina's back a harsh thump, as if encouraging a baby to spit out something inedible. As Machina lets out a violent cough like a consumptive heroine from a Victorian-era novel, I pulled a lollipop, mandarin orange flavor, free from her throat with a wet pop. Okay, how the hell did this happen?
お兄ちゃんが来るののんびりと飴でも舐めながら待ち構えていようかと思ったんだけど、なんか急に眠くなっちゃったのよさ。
Don't fall asleep with a stick hanging out of your mouth. It's obviously dangerous. I mean, how old are you again?
いやはや面目ないのよさ。
I mean, if I hadn't happened to pass by here, might you have ended up suffocating to death? As if deliberately demonstrating her complete indifference to my concerns, Machina casually offers me the same lollipop that I pulled out of her throat mere moments ago. No.
そうじゃあ私が食う。
Cut it out. You do realize you almost suffocated on that lump of sugar just now, right? Don't eat lollipops when you're moving around. They can kill you if you fall.
お
Don't just sit on the ground. Eat the damn thing later.
もういちいち細かいのよさ。甘ねえみたい。
Don't put half-eaten candy in your damn skirt pocket. You're going to turn it into a sticky mess.
むっちゃ怒ってるよ。面白い。
What's so funny, punk? I might be noticing this a little late in the game, but is this girl mocking me? Calm yourself, Yuji. This is the way she is, right? Don't let her get to you. I press a hand to my forehead, heave a long heavy sigh, and firmly rub my temples. Anne, you planning to explain what that email was about?
メール？
Don't play dumb. I'm talking about this. I take my cell phone from my pocket, slide open the screen, and hold it out so Machina can see. It's displaying the incoherent message she sent me just a few minutes ago.
おお、ああ、それな、それはあれよ。読んだままよ。文字通りの意味なのよさ。
And I'm telling you I don't understand what it means. That's why I'm talking to you about it.
お兄ちゃんはあれなのかな。日本語が不自由な人なの？
You really shouldn't talk. Anyway, just tell me what you're trying to say here as thoroughly, concisely, and bluntly as possible.
ね、私のパパになってください。
Papa? Yeah, that was definitely the title of the mail as well. But, no wait. What does she even mean by that? Tell me something, Machina. When you say Papa, do you mean a Papa or...
そう、マキナのパパになってください。
What the heck? Are you seriously asking me to become your father? Or are you talking about more of a sugar daddy type deal? You're looking for money to play around with, and you think I'm going to give it to you.
そうじゃないのよ。お金はいらないのよさ。むしろ私のパパになってくれるならお金あげるのよ。
The hell? I'll give you money, so please be my papa. What the hell is that? Every step I take in this bizarre conversation seems to be taking me further and further away from understanding the situation. Okay, hold on. Think this over calmly, Yuji. There's still a possibility I'm making some ridiculous mistake here. Before blaming others, carefully consider the possibility that you're the one who screwed up. I had that one beaten into me enough, right? Can't go forgetting it now. Okay, Machina, let's calm down and talk this over, alright? Why do you want a papa, exactly?
私ね、パパがいないのよ。
Why not?
死んじゃったから。
I see. Sorry to hear that.
でね、結構前から企んでたんだけど、死んじゃったパパの代わりになるパパが欲しいなってずっと思ってたのよさ。でもね、なんかこう いまいちピンとこないっていうか、なんか違うなって人ばっかでね。いろいろ探してはみたんだけど、私のパパになってくれそうな人って全然いなかったのね。そしたらね、なんと好都合なことに向こうから来たのよさ。
You're talking about me.
わかってんじゃん。冴えてるな。
For the record, I'm mildly pissed off right now, but whatever. Go on.
でもね、すぐにパパになってくださいって言ったら変な子だって思われちゃうじゃない。それにすぐに飛びついて失敗だったら嫌だなって思ってたし、私もそんなに赤坂な女じゃないのよ。
Okay, I think you meant to say shallow there.
アロマのカリス。
It's Anamalocaris. No, never mind. Let's leave your pronunciation issues aside for the moment. Keep going.
だからとりあえずお兄ちゃんってことで様子を見させてもらって、この人で間違いないって思ったらパパになってもらおうと思ったわけなのよ。
That's the level up?
いかにも。
A long heavy sigh spills from my mouth. She's trying to buy herself a father. I absent-mindedly massage the area between my eyebrows. I've developed a headache all of a sudden. Family isn't something you can buy with money. Doesn't everyone understand that? Then again, there are people out there who think they can erase their families with money. So I guess it's not surprising the opposite delusion exists as well. But more importantly, what in the world am I going to do about this one? Look, Machina, you seem to be working off a mistaken premise here. Let me clear it up for you, okay? A father isn't something you can replace with money. Spare me the ooh. Hasn't anyone ever told you something like this before?
いかんせん、父親を早くに亡くしたもので、そのあたりの機微には疎いところがあるという自覚はあるのだけれども。
What about your mother? She didn't explain any of this to you?
お母さんは私のこと嫌いだからね。
I see. I guess that makes sense then.
で、どうなの？私のパパになってくれるの？
Your papa, though. When you say papa, what exactly are you expecting me to do?
別に今まで通りでいいのよさ。私のことを守ってくれて、私のことを大切にしてくれて、私のことを愛してくれればそれでいいの。
Did I ever protect you from harm? Or take good care of you for that matter? And apparently I loved you on top of it all. News to me. If anything, I feel like I've treated her pretty roughly at times.
家族愛って一番強い愛情なんでしょ？
Hard for me to say. I don't have a family, so I can't really comment.
じゃあ一緒に家族について勉強していこうよ。私が娘になってあげるのよさ。
Figure it out, eh? They do say life is one long learning process, but... In the first place, am I really qualified to play this game? Can an irresponsible man like me call himself someone's father? Does a piece of trash like me have any right to?
不安？
It's a brief sentence, and her tone of voice is casual. But all of a sudden, it feels like my heart is being squeezed tight in my chest. Uneasy. Yes, that's probably a good word for what I'm feeling right now. If a bit of an understatement. Do I have the strength to keep this girl safe?
大丈夫。お金ならあるのよ。ほら。
Machina reaches into her skirt and pulls out a number of crumpled, bent 10,000 yen bills, along with some smaller change. When I count, it comes out to 86,000. For a kid's pocket money, this strikes me as somewhat excessive.
足りなければカードもあるし。
The next thing to emerge from her skirt pocket is a gold card issued by a major credit company. Compared to the premium or unlimited black cards, I suppose it's something of a toy, but definitely not the sort you'd expect a kid to be carrying around. Hey, Machina.
ね、今はそれしかないけど、お母さんかおばあさまに言えばもっともっとお金出してくれるのよ。
The golden plastic card quivers in her hand. What if he says no? In that slight uncontrollable trembling, Makina's terror of rejection is all too clear. I think I understand now. When she's trying to buy my affection, she simply doesn't know any other way to get what she wants. This is probably how she was raised. When she went to her mother to talk about her troubles, she got a wad of money. They should take care of it. So that was how she learned to solve her problems. And she never had anyone to teach her that was wrong. What can I do for a girl like this? What can the likes of me possibly do for Makina? Alright, time to save the game. Because this is actually the choice for Makina's route. And because like I said, we are going to get the routes as they show themselves. We are actually going to accept the money. Crazy to think that you actually go into her route by accepting the money and not the other way around. You'd think that if you reject the money, you would try to make Makina learn that, you know, love isn't something you buy. But instead, we actually go into her route by accepting the money. If you want to obtain something, be prepared to lose something in exchange. That's the way the world works. Makina wants to use her money to buy me. Might as well let her. It's not like my life has that much value to me in the first place. I glance at the crumpled bills clutched in Makina's hand. 86,000 yen. Seems like a bit too much of a bargain any way you slice it. Sorry, Makina, but I'm pretty damn expensive. This isn't even close enough. Give it up. Makina reaches back into her pocket and takes out a lumpy, hairy purse, roughly resembling a mutant frog. Makina's purse is packed full of tinfoil from sticks of gum and half-eaten bits of chocolate. Among the crumpled bills and dirty loose change, there's also a single credit card she carelessly tossed inside. Just how many cards do you have? Hey, hold on. This thing is... The credit card Makina casually hands to me is jet black. It's not made of plastic either. Seems to be some sort of lightweight metal. Maybe titanium alloy. The name of a huge overseas credit company is etched deeply into the surface of the card, probably by laser. Is this one of those exclusive black cards I've heard about? If I remember correctly, this isn't something just any rich person can get their hands on. It's proof you have a major account in an institution registered with the Swiss Bankers Association, or something comparable. Hold on, Makina. Why do you have this card? Makina shouts wildly in triumph. She's got something like a checkbook grasped firmly in her hands. On closer inspection, I spot the name of a foreign bank on the cover. Listen, slow down for a second. Counting off zeros in an off-pitch, sing-songy rhythm, Makina scratches down a number onto a check. With a carefree smile, Makina thrusts out the slip of paper toward me. For a moment, I'm completely stunned. It's a check for 70 million yen. How much is that in, like, USD? Let me see. So, roughly, just cut it by, like, 2 zeros. 700 grand? Damn, that's almost enough for a really good house. I don't think that's enough though, Makina. Are you serious? As I run my eyes over the check again and again, I feel a sticky, unpleasant sweat begin to seep out of the back of my head. This is absurd. You could build a hell of a nice house for yourself with this kid's pocket money. Even if I exercise my option and keep working my current job right until the retirement age, I don't know if I'll ever save up this much. I mean, I doubt Yuji actually gets a lot of money doing what he's doing. But yeah. Wait. This is way too much money. I mean, is this thing even real? I don't remember even taking the check from Makina, but it's in my hand. I hold it up to the light of the sun and peer through it. There's a typical watermark inside the paper. The check itself looks like it was issued by a genuine financial institution.
高額小切手になるからそれなりに手数料とか取られると思うし、その場で口座開設を勧められると思うけど、今はほら手数料の安い業者もいるからそっちでやった方がお得かもしれないのよさ。
Why do you have this sort of money?
お母さんにもらったの。それが私の一生分のお小遣いなんだって。
So, giving you money for your whole life means that she doesn't have to care for you anymore, right? Damn, that's a fucked up parenting. Look, you can't just give that to me.
だから今日からパパになるんだし、パパが私にお小遣いをちょうだい。
I mean, giving that amount of money to a kid is definitely excessive. That is something that you can actually build upon a business on. I see. Hold on a second here. Why am I starting to go along with this? Well, I mean, I do get the feeling that leaving Makina to manage this money herself won't necessarily end well. But why exactly do I have to take care of her finances? Ah, right. I guess that's a natural thing for a father to do. Wait, hold on. I didn't agree to any of this yet, did I?
それで足りないって言われちゃうと、もう無理。あと。
Oh, sorry. As she speaks, Makina claps her hands behind her back and begins to squirm around shyly. I follow her gaze toward a secluded thicket. The hell? Is she seriously proposing a quick go into bushes? I mean, what? How did she get this idea in her head? Amane? Probably Amane. I think I need to have a talk with that woman. How many sighs would this be today? I've lost count. Well, whatever. Fine. I'll allow you to buy me. Wet yourself. As of today, I'm your father. I'll hold on to this money.
足りない分は値で？
That won't be necessary.
ばっかりじゃね？
Rest assured, it's just you. Listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you, Makina. I drop my hands onto Makina's thin, fragile shoulders and stare her square in the face. I accepted this job, so I'm going to carry it out. But I'm going to do it my way. And my approach might not always correspond exactly with the ideal father you've been imagining. As your father, there's only one thing I can promise you. Even if everyone else in the world becomes your enemy, I'll always protect you.
じゃあ、お兄ちゃんは今日から私のパパ？
That's what I'm saying. What? Makina falls forward into my arms, the tension draining from her body like a taut string that's finally snapped. I see. All along, this girl wanted a guardian more than anything else in the world. Of course, she had Amane, and none of her classmates would ever hurt her, but even so, something was missing. Something like family. A person who would love her unconditionally. A person who would keep her safe, no matter what. A father. She was searching for a long time, but when she finally found a suitable candidate, she didn't know what to do next. In the end, she clumsily threw everything she had in the world at my feet. Makina's lifetime allowance, 70 million yen. Certainly not a small chunk of change, but the amount isn't relevant in this case. She offered me everything, absolutely everything, and fortunately, I don't have to think too hard about how to answer that desperate gesture. I'll just do anything and everything I can for her. If that's enough for Makina, there's no reason to second guess myself. I don't have to rack my brains about this job. It's nice that way. Simple, easy to understand, well suited to an idiot like me. And so, as of today, I've become Makina's father. Old habits die hard. When entering a building, I count the number of exits. When walking through town, every once in a while, I stop abruptly and look behind me. Running every morning is practically a reflex by now, as is rigging my door before I leave. Spend much time in a job like mine, and you'll naturally acquire many small habits like these. Pointless as they might seem, every once in a while, they'll save your life. This morning, as usual, I stuck a bit of tape in an inconspicuous spot under the door on my way out. It's a simple precaution against the arrival of intruders in my absence. But in this particular case, the intruders left behind such brazen signs of their entry as to render my little trick completely absurd. Not the most pleasant way to start the day. Machina, so this was your work after all. I'll take the blueberry. My low coffee table is partially occupied by a plate of formidable sandwiches. Ham, cheese, and lettuce stuffed between dark, tough-looking hunks of rye bread. There's also a carton of milk and a plastic bottle of iced coffee. Surprisingly decent spread, considering Machina's the one who prepared it. I pour a glass of milk and gulp it down. So tell me, Machina, was it you who blasted through my door? The lock on my door has been destroyed. I'm asking if you're responsible. Amane has a spare key, doesn't she? I see. Sachi, eh? I did vaguely suspect her involvement from that ends justify the means approach to breaking and entering. Broken doesn't really describe the current state of my door. Actually, melted might be a better word. Specifically, brute force application of extreme heat has left a gaping hole where my lock used to be. At first, I thought they'd busted out an oxyacetylene torch. Oxyacetylene? I don't know how to say that word, or something. But then I noticed the discarded coffee can lying on the ground nearby. Its contents, a black lump resembling iron oxide, and a metallic white powder. Give that woman 2 years of training and she'd fit right in with the IRA. I don't know what that is. Imagining Sachi kneeling beside the door in full maid uniform, silently setting up her homemade explosive, the joke doesn't seem particularly funny. If you're going to repair it, then how about not breaking it in the first place? Look at you playing the clingy girlfriend, cheeky brat. Well, I suppose. Hey now, Amani'd kick your ass if she heard that. Hey, I did say I was gonna do the work at my own pace, Machina. Might not be your ideal papa, right? Is that how it works? Sorry, I'm not too knowledgeable when it comes to this particular role. What a pain in the ass. Fine, fine. Stop screaming, will you? Why do I have to participate in some surreal skit first thing in the damn morning? Might I, by some chance, have adopted something of a problem child? Irrepressible unease sends thick drops of sweat trickling down my forehead. Very different from the pleasant perspiration I worked up while running. My chilled blood sinks heavily to the bottom of my feet like a lump of lead. But since I accepted this responsibility, I can't do a half-assed job of it. If Makina wants me to play this character for her, I suppose duty demands that I do so. After pausing briefly to exhale, I reach out and grab the half-melted doorknob. I'm back, Makina. Daddy's home. A huge smile stretched across her face. Makina spreads her arms open wide and takes a step toward me. Probably scheming to throw herself full force into my chest, I hold out my hands to catch the girl and blunt the impact, but in that very instant, Makina momentarily disappears from my field of vision. What the? Ugh! Before I have the time to react, I suffer a powerful blow to my lower abdomen, right around the solar plexus. Impossible! How did she? That's like Bakana. Fucking anime. The breath's been knocked out of my lungs and my eyeballs are wobbling in their sockets like drunken marines in an earthquake. But somehow, I managed to turn my gaze down. Makina's fuzzy little head is firmly lodged in my gut. A slight dash? As I crumble to my knees, Makina scampers nimbly up onto my body. Wrap her arms around the back of my head, like a Muay Thai boxer preparing to deliver a knee kick, and then smashes her lips against mine with the force and speed of a spear thrust. Is this actually where we have sex? Damn you, God! Our teeth knock against each other with an audible thunk. I reflexively try to pull myself away, but Makina isn't about to allow that. Swiftly coiling her ankles around the back of my knees, she leans all of her body weight forward in an effort to push me down. Struggling to resist Makina's stubborn hold, I brace my abdominal muscles and try to keep myself still. But with my lower body completely disabled, the girl's 40-kilo mass is too much to support. She quickly pins me to the ground. Makina, what the hell are you doing? Wait, hold on. Isn't this a little wrong? I mean, this isn't quite what I imagine when you say welcome home kiss. I was thinking more, I don't know, a smack on the cheek or something, right? In any case, I've got to peel the girl off me. I reach up blindly. My hand ends up touching Makina's chest. Yeah, as censored as this is, I still don't think this is that censored. I don't know what people are saying when they say this is censored. They must be crazy in the head, man. This girl never wears any damn underwear, does she? Not that the thought really does much for me. Still, it's not so bad having this ridiculously warm little body on top of mine. A little sweaty, but kind of pleasant in a way. Sometimes irritating, sometimes soothing. Might this be what familial love is? I don't think so, Yuji. I think this is just lust or something. As Makina maintains her noisy assault on my tonsils, I softly slip an arm around her back. The girl's so slender it feels like she might snap if I embrace her too forcefully. Holding her light little body in my arms stirs up powerful protective feelings. Makina. I can't do much, but if nothing else, surely I can manage to keep an idiotic grin in the face of one irritating, sweet little girl. This is what I need to protect. I feel like I'm starting to understand. Not just the meaning of those words, but also the raw emotions they signify. Covered in her spit, warm affectionate feelings for the bizarre beast, Kazami Yuji. Thanks for that haiku, Yuji. Well, it felt like a haiku was warranted, but I didn't manage to work any seasonal words in there. Not my finest effort. But just as I'm smiling at the thought, events take an unanticipated turn. Specifically, a sharp knocking at the door, followed immediately by a question delivered in a fairly harsh tone of voice. Amane?
マキナの姿が見えないから探してみれば、まさかこんなところでこんなことしてるとはね。お姉さんびっくりよ。別に変なこと してたわけじゃないのよ。なんていうか、スキンシップなのよ。悪いことしてないのよ。どうしたのマキナ。私別に怒ってないわよ。本当に？ええ、あなたのことは怒ってないわよ。それよりマキナ、時計を見てごらんなさい。もうこんな時間。制服に着替えて学校に行く準備しなきゃ。そうだね。じゃあお部屋に戻って着替えていらっしゃい。お姉ちゃんはちょっとこっちのお兄ちゃんとお話があるから。
Amani flutters her hands in the air in the classic shoo shoo gesture. Machina bites her lower lip, then peers up at Amani's face with upturned eyes.
きつく叱らないでほしいのよ。叱る？私が？ユージよ。まさか。ちょっとお話を聞かせてもらうだけだからね。あんたはほら、さっさと着替えてきなさい。
Cowering like a kitten under the glare of a German shepherd, Machina inches backward. One step, then two. And the instant she's clear of Amani's potential attack range, the girl turns on her heel and bursts into an all-out retreat. As she watches her young friends scamper off to safety, Amani folds her arms under her breasts and slowly swings her head from side to side, producing sharp little cracking sounds. When she finally speaks, her tone is somewhat exasperated.
さて、どういうことなのか説明してもらえるのよね、お兄ちゃん。
Nothing to explain. It's just like you saw. Also, it's not Oni-chan anymore. I was promoted to Papa as of yesterday.
は？すみません。おっしゃることがよく理解できないのですが。
Then I'll explain. Take a seat. After settling across the table from Amani, I explained the lay of the land in between bites of sandwich. First of all, the events surrounding Machina's mysterious message yesterday afternoon. Secondly, the way I felt after learning of the girl's desperate desire for a father. And finally, how I'm planning to interact with Machina from now on.
まあ、言いたいことはなんとなく分かったけれど、それがマキナとキスをしていた理由とどうつながるのかな？
We're father and daughter now. Surely a kiss isn't anything out of the ordinary.
いや、まあ確かにほっぺにチューぐらいはすると思うけど、押し倒した上に舌を絡み合わせるような濃厚なやつは普通しないよね。
That's so. Unfortunately, I don't have too firm a grasp on the appropriate standard of normality here.
確かにユージの場合、普通って難しいかもね。
Anyway, what I regard as normal doesn't seem to coincide with what Machina wants from me. To be honest with you, I don't really understand what it means to be a father. I'm basically playing it by ear for now. That said, I made Machina a promise, so I intend to do everything I possibly can. I may not have any decent examples to work of, but I do remember the perfect dad I imagined as a child. I'll try to become a father like that.
それってどんな父親？
Let's see. Kind but strict, has the answer to any question, teaches his kid everything they need to know, a reliable, steady presence. I'll never betray her, and she comes before everything else. She can sleep on my lap without a care in the world. That's the sort of father I want to be.
そっか。そこまで真剣に考えているなら、私はもう何も言わないよ。
Oh? That was a lot easier than I expected.
まあね。あの子に父親が必要だってのは私にも分かってたことだし、いつかはこうなる予感？なんかそんなのもあったしね。ほら、マキナの履いてるブーツあるでしょ？赤羽の茶芯 PT91 のナイフポケット付き。あれもう結構ボロだけど私のお気に入りでさ。ソール1回ヒール2回張り替えて大事に履いてたんだけど、マキナがどうしても欲しいって言うからあげちゃったんだよね。あの子にお願いされると私どうしても断れなくてさ。
What are you trying to say?
あの子にはあんたが必要なんだって認めちゃったんだろうね、私。ああ、 またマキナに取られちゃったか。
Amane scratches loudly at her head in a vaguely rueful gesture.
でも父親になったってことは恋人になったわけじゃないのよね。
Huh? Right. That's not exactly what being a father involves.
じゃあ私にもまだチャンスは残ってるんだよね。
Like I said, I'm putting Machina first from now on. You're only going to make yourself miserable if you don't accept that.
誰かが幸せになったら誰かが不幸になるのっておかしいよね。幸せはみんなで分かち合った方がいいじゃない。だからユージをマキナと私の2人で分ければいいのよ。
That's a very flexible way of thinking, but albeit pretty twisted. Okay, Amane. Share me. How would that work exactly? I'm not a planarian. Cutting me in half won't accomplish much.
簡単じゃん。あんたがあの子の父親になるなら私は母親になればいいんだよ。
What? The sandwich I had carried halfway to my mouth nearly drops out of my hand. What the? Hold on. Are you a genius?
え、そんなすごいこと言った覚えはないけど。
I'd been prepared to sacrifice everything else for Machina's sake, but I see. To be certain, your daughter and your wife are two entirely different matters. A shameful oversight on my part. Amani's right. A parent exists in the context of a partnership. Surely a real family isn't such a fragmentary thing. Everyone has their roles to play as a piece in the larger puzzle. The one who scolds and the one who comforts. The lecturer and the healer. The protector and the rebel. Rebel? I don't know. I think it's rebel. Surrounded by diverse examples and exposed to various opinions, the children slowly choose their own path. That's probably what a family should be. How could I miss such a simple thing? I'm already a failure as a father.
いや、まあ母親って言っても所詮はごっこ遊びだけどね。
A game, huh?
それでもさ、遊びだからこそ本気になれる年齢なんだよ、私たちは。言ってる意味わかる？
Yeah. My master said something similar when she adopted me. It's not like I can ever be a real family to you. But sometimes, fake families can grow closer than the genuine article, precisely because they're pretending. Like in the military, where the CO is the father, the XO is your mother, and your squad leader is the big brother. Sometimes, the trust and unity among such groups can be stronger than in a true family. I suppose that makes me the CEO of this fledgling division, bearing total responsibility, burdened with the authority to send his pseudo-children to their deaths for the cause. A man who, if driven by necessity, may be left with no choice but to issue just such an order. It seems I was still viewing this responsibility too lightly.
まあ、あんまり思い詰めない方がいいよ。真摯に受け止めるのはいいけど、責任と責任感を履き違えないようにね。
Responsibility and my sense of responsibility. What the? I feel like I've heard that line before. Somewhere.
ん？どうかした？
No. It's nothing.
何にせよ、マキナの将来を心配するよりさ、まずは自分の心配をしたら？
Sorry, what's that supposed to mean?
私はほら、物分かりのいい女の子だからいいけど、他の子はどうだろう？
The other girls? What, our classmates? Is me becoming Makina's father going to cause some sort of problem with them?
なんで何も問題がないと思えるのかな？ユージってさ、変に女慣れしてるくせに、そういうとこ鈍いよね。
A certain incident comes to mind. From back in the days when I was still a genuine brat, thoroughly unversed in the ways of women. One morning, JB was clearly feeling poorly. Considerate young man that I was, I proceeded to badger her throughout breakfast and about the nature of her distress. Ultimately, leading to an enraged bellow of, "What do you think?" and a thoroughly unpleasant day for the both of us. Amani, my friend, are you referring to some variety of menstrual difficulties?
あんた、真面目な顔して何言ってんのよ。
Well, expecting a man such as myself to divine the subtle workings of the female mind is the height of folly. But in any case, Amani's suggestion that I have something to worry about just doesn't feel convincing. Ever since I was a child, people have been telling me that I think too much. But even I can't see any need to waste my time pondering this. And so, I decided to become Makina's father. Dropping my hand onto Makina's head with a thump, I draw my frank, casual announcement to a close. In that instant, the very air of the classroom seems to freeze solid. Sakaki's expression is so befuddled it seems clear that her mind hasn't fully processed the meaning of my words. Michiru's wide-open eyes are full of unspoken questions regarding my sanity. The brush in Sachi's hand, running through Michiru's hair only a moment ago, has come to an abrupt halt. Her mouth lies slightly ajar, as if stuck halfway through a question. Although all three have distinctively different reactions, they share one common feature: a long moment of silence. It lasts perhaps 10 seconds before Michiru finally manages to speak.
はあんた何言ってんの
Didn't you hear? Alright, I'll repeat myself one more time. Withdrawing my hand from Makina's fuzzy head, I clasp my arms behind my back and breathe in a hearty lungful of air.
いや聞こえなかったわけじゃないからただそのどういう意味なのかなって
I meant exactly what I said.
だがって言われても
Oh, sorry.
風見
Thought she
裕
was
二は
done.
このイリスマキナの男になったからおめえらは手出すんじゃねえぞってそういうことなのよさ
And so arrives the second moment of utter silence. Of course, I've actually become Makina's father, and the term man strikes me as a fairly inexact analog in this context. But then again, it's not like this is the first time Makina's displayed a lack of linguistic competence. Hardly worth correcting every little slip of that stubby little tongue. After all, these girls have known Makina longer than me, so I'm sure they can grasp her actual meaning without any need for my interpretation. Ah, so that's how it is. Most likely words along these lines will bring this discussion to an end, and we'll shift on to some other trivial topic like always. But my expectations prove somewhat off the mark. In a simultaneous movement that almost seems choreographed, Sakaki, Michiru, and Sachi turn their heads to stare at Amane, currently standing by with her arms folded and a wry smile on her face.
なんで私を見るだってね
急に父親になってと言われても書類の問題とか
えいやなんつうか父親って言ってもそこまで本意気じゃないっていうかごっこ遊びの延長みたいなほら私がマキナのママになってあげるってなノリで
そういうことでしたか。ようやく特進が行きました。しかし父親プレートはまたマニアックな。
私は結構本気だよ。パパだってたとえ世界中を敵に回しても私を守ってくれるって言ったよ。
Yeah, that I did.
嘘じゃないよね。
Of course. Makina's gazing up at me, clear anxiety in her eyes. I drop my hands onto her shoulders and nod firmly. There's no problem. I'm going to take care of you from now on. Back in the old days, when I asked my master a similar question, she gave me an answer along these lines. Drop me in the worst hellhole on earth with nothing but a rusty knife, and I'll still come back alive. I'm an ultra-high-powered piece of national defense equipment. Sorry, I had to cough there. With the nerve and skill to single-handedly annihilate 1,000 terrorists. And I'll use everything I have to raise you into a full-blown adult. You don't need to worry about a thing. But even so, I don't want her to experience the hardships I've known. Is this what they call parental love?
ありがとう、パパ。
Shrieking out her own sound effect like a complete airhead, Makina wraps her arms around my waist and hugs me tightly.
じゃあ私はマキナのママになってあげる。
At this point, for some reason, Amani decides to seize hold of my left hand and smother it between her oversized mammaries. Mammaries? I don't know.
把握しました。では、私はマキちゃんの使用人ということで、必死。
Seizing the moment, Sachi firmly grasps my right arm and likewise squeezes it against her chest. Hey now! A number of inquiries and complaints regarding this development run through my mind, but I'm discreet enough to keep them to myself. Carefully maintaining her vice-like grasp, Sachi meets my exasperated gaze with upturned eyes as clear and expressionless as glass beads,
何か
and stares back at me with the cold pupils of a woman who isn't prepared to take no for an answer. Her voice may be calm, but I've learned from experience that Sachi is astonishingly stubborn when she gets that look in her eyes. Pointing out that Machina servant should probably be clinging to Machina probably won't get me out of this.
メイドがいれば便利ですよ。特に私はなかなか開かないポテトチップスの袋を開けるのが得意ですので、無駄にイライラしないで済みます。一家に一人は必要ですね。
If you say so. Rather than keeping a maid around for that, I think it'd be wiser to buy a pair of scissors at the 100 yen shop. But I can already see the conversation devolving into a debate on the merits of conspicuous consumption.
バカバカしい。
あれ、榊さんは家族ごっこしないの？
Ignoring Amani's teasing voice, Sakaki stalks imperiously back to her seat, where she begins retrieving and arranging her textbooks. Of course, Sakaki never was the type to roll along with this sort of lighthearted farce, and she's far too proud to initiate an attempt at compromise.
みちる様はどうされますか？
Caught off guard by the sudden question, Michiru emits an undignified little grunt.
私にどうしろってのよ。だいたいあんたも女の子に抱きつかれて鼻の下を伸ばしてんじゃないわよ。
Do I really look like I'm enjoying this to you? I didn't ask these three to amuse themselves by making a toy out of me. Quite the opposite, actually. My imprisonment in this mass of flesh is quickly getting into sweltering territory. But just as I'm about to point out that the break's going to end soon, Sachi's grip on my arm grows even stronger.
まだお分かりにならないのですか、みちる様。
何よ。
今このタイミング、今こそがまさにデレの時なのです。
At Sachi's forceful declaration, Michiru's body quivers as though struck by lightning. Lighting? Is that actually true, not lightning? Whatever. I think that's supposed to be lightning. Grasping her own upper arms to keep herself from shaking, she averts her eyes in shock.
でも
何を迷う必要がありますか。さあ、出れましょう。
Her face utterly earnest, Sachi nods gravely to herself, then glances around the area thoughtfully.
犬がいませんね。
犬？
幸せな家庭にはペットの犬が欠かせません。ペットを飼うということは生活のゆとりの表れであり、その家庭の幼い子供はペットを飼うことで弱者に対する思いやりを知り、やがて思春期を迎える頃に生き物の死というものを学ぶのです。幸いなことにマキちゃんは以前白い犬が欲しいと言っていました。今みちる様に対して発生している需要とはまさにそこかと。
それってつまり私に犬の真似をしろと？ペットの犬になって有事に甘えろと？あんたは
Oh, sorry.
そう言っている
I
の
thought she was done. As Michiru tentatively summarizes the nature of her situation, Sachi nods a silent
み
affirmation.
ちる様におかれましてはご理解が早くて助かります。さあ泣いてください。ワンと泣くのです。愛らしくワンワンと泣きながら風見さんの足に必死としがみつくのです。うぐではありません。ワンです。恥ずかしがっている場合ではありませんよ。今こそが不退転の時、自ら交代のネジを取り外したツンデレという生き様を見せつけるのです。さあ、
Beads of greasy sweat rolling down her forehead, Michiru emits a pitifully hoarse groan.
さっちゃんも追い詰めるわね。みちるの顔見てごらんなさいよ。なんかもういろいろな価値観が頭の中でぐるぐると渦巻いちゃって吐きそうな顔してるじゃないの。
Well, there's the bell. Alright, you lot. We've got class.
次の授業なんだったっけ？
次はみんな大好き古文です。居眠りしないように注意しましょう。って静かだと思ったらマキちゃん寝ちゃってますね。起こしましょうか。
Yeah, if you would.
はい、お任せください。こう見えて私、ネタ子を起こす能力にも定評がありますので。
Not sure if that's the best talent for a mate to have.
マキちゃん、起きて。授業が始まっちゃうよ。ご飯はさっき食べたばかりでしょ。
It's like watching an old man in the grips of dementia being gently chided by his long-suffering daughter-in-law. With some effort, Sachi succeeds in peeling Makina off me, sliding both arms under the limp little creature's armpits. She begins to drag her off like a medic pulling a wounded grunt to cover.
ちょっとサーチ。
はい、何か。
何かじゃないわよ。ちょっとどうしてくれるのよ。
それは何に対してでしょう。というか、私にどうして欲しいのですか。うぐでは分かりません。もっと具体的に何に対してどのような補填をお望みなのか、はっきりと言ってください。さあ。ご自分の中の苛立ちの正体がうまく言葉にできないのですね。わかります。それが今時の無軌道な若者というものでしょう。大丈夫です。そんな時はとりあえず弱者をいじめておけばいいのです。振り上げた拳の収めどころにお悩みでしたら、私の方をお貸ししましょう。それでみちる様の憤りが晴れるのであれば。さあ、どうぞお打ちください。みちる様、どちらへ。もうすぐ授業が。
Why don't you let her be for the moment? I'm not sure I entirely understand, but the girl seems to have been hurt somehow.
難しいお年頃ですね。
Shaking her head in sorrowful disappointment, Sachi proceeds to drag Makina off. Things took a rapid turn for the manic, so I'm not entirely confident we've reached a common understanding. But for the time being, I've relayed the news of my new position as Makina's father to our classmates. That said, it's too early to rest. There's someone else I need to file a report with. Honestly speaking, this one probably should have come first.
言ってる意味が全然わからないんだけど。
Alright, with that, I'm actually gonna end the episode right here. But yeah,
セーブしますか。
next time we'll continue, we will be on Makina's story. I think Makina's story will be about 3 to 4 episodes, I'd say. I think 3. I think each heroine's episode or each heroine's route is going to be about 3 episodes long. At least that's how I remember playing it when I was playing it all those years ago. The common route is about 20 hours, and then each heroine's episode is like 6 hours plus, depending on the girl. But alright, I am enjoying this game for sure. I had a lot of laughs, but not everything is gonna be lots of laughs in this game after going through our route. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you guys next time. I am going to sleep, most likely. Tomorrow I'll be going to the gym again. I can't wait. But yeah, see ya.